Good day, everyone. I'm Captain Gaurav Rana. I run C and Beyond, and welcome to this webinar on, digital transformation. How do you probably understand where a technology is to be used? How is it to be used, and the implementation part of it. So that's what we are going to discuss over here. We move to the next slide, Shreyash, and I'll of course introduce the speakers. We have Uttam, and we'll also have Dr. Dharmesh joining us, who will be speaking along with me in this presentation. Welcome both Dr. Dharmesh and Uttam. Thanks for joining in. In this presentation, we're gonna and why we are doing these webinars. The C and Beyond does a lot of these webinars. The idea is essentially to increase your awareness, to ensure that you hear information from very credible sources, and with the view that it helps you to evaluate the information specific to you, right? Sometimes what happens is you hear from a friend of a friend. Over here, we try and share information directly from the source itself. And the idea is that you should be able to take a well-informed decision at the end of the webinar. So that's the goal of these webinar series, which we do. We will take the questions at the end. However, if you feel you have not understood about a particular slide, or you have question, you may write it in the chat window at that point of time, but we will take the questions at the end itself. What we also request is that our answers may be a little bit generic in nature, it may not be possible to give a very specific question because we have so many people in the presentation, but we can take specific questions later on, and we will share the slides with you later in an email. The other request is to please rename yourself to your real name rather than the name of your family member or the name of the device from where you have joined in. We move to the next slide. All right. As I introduce everyone, let me also take an introduction from you guys. So there should be a poll on your screen right now, which essentially where we want to know what's your background, right? Please do answer that poll. And in the meanwhile, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce the panelists today, the presenters today. We've got Uttam Kumar. Uttam has been a mariner. He's been a marine engineer, and he did his engineering from DMIT. He went to US to do his masters. Over there, he worked for a while before he joined Alpha and then Synergy, and that transition took him to Singapore, where he's been there for a few years. And essentially, we have in front of us a mariner, one of us essentially, who, while who had interest in technology, he pursued that particular interest, and right now he is director in customer engagement with Synergy, and it's more to do with the technology engagements per se. Uttam has led various products. He's been the brainchild behind developing products, enhancing products, directly dealing with the promoters, directly dealing with various other stakeholders, and ensuring that the people below him are able to develop the products as per the needs of the market. We also have Dr. Dharmesh with us, and Dr. Dharmesh is represents Gujarat Maritime University, and with GMU, we have this program wherein the certifications will be awarded by them, and Dr. Dharmesh has been a board member in GMU, his assistant professor, he's controller of examination, and he essentially helps with the digital courses as well in the campus. And he'll talk about the collaboration. He'll also talk about what GMU has been doing, why this course is helpful for all of us, and also about the previous course. And then I'll introduce myself later on when I talk a little bit more. But why I am speaking more is because I have spent about 4 years in IBM. I've helped in managing projects, worked on analytics, worked on blockchain a little bit. So I'll give you my insights of what I've understood about the industry later on as well. I am And that was the introduction from the speakers, and we've got the introduction from the people who are attending. So we've got about 41% who have settled, who are top four sailing, 30% who are sailing at an operations level, and 26% who are settled ashore, and very few who have never went to sea. So that's fine. We move to the next slide, please. And that's the agenda for today, wherein we talk about the landscape, the career paths. We talk about the advanced course, which we'll be having, the hiring opportunities generally in the industry, and then we will open it up for Q&As. But before we start, may I request Dr. Dharmesh to kind of introduce the course, talk a little bit more about the association as well, sir. Over to you, Dr. Dharmesh, sir.
Hi, good afternoon. Am I audible? Yeah, hi. Thank you. So, on behalf of Gujarat Maritime University, I extend a warm welcome to all of you, and I'm glad to be here in this event with Captain Gaurav Rana. So, Gujarat Maritime University, is a university promoted by Government of Gujarat here in Gandhinagar through Gujarat Maritime Board. Gujarat Maritime Board is the state regulator of all the known major ports in Gujarat. And since 2019, this university has been established here in Gandhinagar. And we have been offering programs basically in the domain of management as well as in the domain of law. So I'm heading the School of Maritime Management, wherein we are typically offering 2 years full-time MBA program with specialization in shipping and logistics as well as port management. Apart from that, we are also offering 1 year full-time LLM program, which is having specialization in maritime law and international trade law. And today we have majority of the people from with some work experience in the maritime sector. So I'm sure this course is going to be of great help. We have had several of such courses thanks to C and Beyond. The type of the network that they have, the type of the way they have structured the programs. It has been very useful to all those participants of earlier programs, whether it is commercial shipping or whether it is digitalization. I'm sure all of you also have the same agenda to upskill yourself, and I think I should congratulate you, for showing interest, in upskilling yourself, because first the reason is the sector is the sector we are talking about, maritime sector, is probably one of the most highly growing sector in terms of the investments coming to this sector, and also the exposure that I know the country will be getting thanks to the policy initiatives of the government. So a lot of development, a lot of new investments, and a lot of jobs in this sector. And those who are already here, for them, I think they will be first to grab all these opportunities, and I'm sure this upskilling will certainly help you in your endeavor. So talking something more about Gujarat Maritime University, as I say, we are already offering full-time programs, but apart from our full-time programs, we also have executive development programs that is typically of 1 year duration. Again, that executive development program we are offering is not full-time, but that's offered on online platform. So even working executives can also join. In that also, we are offering specialization in management and maritime law. But I think this certificate course has helped a lot of participants like you, and there are a lot of experts that we with us who will be guiding you during the course, and also post this course, you will get a lot of guidance in terms of what type of preparations you can have, or how you can get the type of career growth that you are typically looking for. So this is a blend of more of skill development as well as a networking type of platform that you will have thanks to CN Beyond and their extensive network. And GMU is glad to collaborate with CN Beyond for this and more courses. Not taking much time, I'm once again happy and congratulating all of you to showing interest in such an initiative. And I also congratulate Captain Gaurav Rana and the team of CN Beyond for yet another initiative in this domain. And once again, all the best to all of you. Looking forward to more interactions with you in coming times. That's it from my side.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dharmesh, and it's been an honor and a pleasure to associate with Gujarat Maritime University and take the upskilling forward to and to as many people as we can. Just for everyone to know, Dr. Dharmesh is also into finance, and he teaches and he writes on finance. What I've done is I have just shared a link of one of his articles on shipping finance. That's something which I know a lot of maritime professionals are interested, but they're not able to read about it a lot. Honestly, I was not able to read about it when I tried a lot, and I've shared one of his articles in the chat window for everyone to read. Right, so moving on, and before I call Uttam, let me quickly have another poll where I check with the audience how well do you understand the technology space. So where do you see yourselves? You understand very little. You're using Excel, little to moderate. You started to use the chat GPTs and all. Moderate. You could do some data analysis and low code tools. Moderate to high, or you are at the high end of it. So where do you think you stand in, you grade yourselves into the technology understanding? And after this, we'll hand over to Uttam as well. Okay, got 80% answers, and I'm ending the poll and sharing the results with everyone. So I guess it's following a certain pattern. Most of the people know very little. Then second comes little to moderate, then moderate to high, and high are there's a couple of people who really are good in the technology space as well. Yeah, so this webinar is essentially to the crowd which we have, the majority of the crowd, and we'll tell you how can you guys upskill, and if at all there are opportunities which you will understand after this webinar. What we'll now have is we'll have Mr. Uttam talk about the maritime digital landscape. How is it changing? He'll talk about a few use cases, and now the use cases are increasing as per probably on a monthly basis. New use cases is coming up, but it's a very interesting field which Mr. Uttam is going to talk about. So Uttam, over to you, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Gaurav. Can you hear me properly? Very well.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind introduction, Gaurav. It's always privileged to join in any of the webinars that you do because it's a way to giving back to the community. So great to be participant in this one session. And thank you, Dr. Dharmesh. It is really a great pleasure to talk to you again and sharing the same platform. So as Gaurav and Dr. Dharmesh mentioned, that it is a very interesting time in shipping or overall in maritime or any adjacent industry because of various reasons. So we need to understand in general why that interest has come in last few years. What are the factors that are driving this industry? for this change, which has not changed over hundreds of years. Probably this is one of the oldest industry, and we are still using the same old noon report from last 100 years and is still continuing to do that. But things are changing. So maybe you can take it to the next slide, Shreyas, where we will talk about what are the factors that are, is it changing for me? So what are the factors that is affecting the industry now? So number one thing that if I have to put is the timing. And timing is because of the various reason, whether it is a geopolitical reason. We know that it's very tough time period where every country is, trying to grab attention from its neighbor, whether it's other reasons. But there are other areas that is also other areas that is very also affecting the industry in terms of the fund that is available to take the industry to the next level, whether it is to the digitalization, whether it is decarbonization or upskilling or even crew welfare. So if you look at this investment, and Dr. Dharmesh also mentioned that India is also investing a heavy lot in this maritime sector. I heard Prime Minister Modi announced about 20,000 crores in the port segment itself. So it is happening all around the world, whether it's Singapore, Scandinavian country, Japan, or over here. So whatever be the reasons, but this is a very interesting time, and a lot of money is coming in terms of getting these new technology and taking this industry forward. So timing is something that I really think is the great driver. And right now we are in the cusp of that time, middle of this timing issue. Next slide, please. Second is business need. We all know, show the next slide, so the whole content. So there are two things that always has been driving shipping. I would say shipping has always been regulation driven, more on the not on the proactive side. If IMO says something, you start implementing it tomorrow. But do we need to take any proactive need? Probably no. But what does this mean is the regulations are getting more complicated and complicated. If you talk about EU ETS today or fuel maritime today, these are so complicated. Now it's not, people are not totally aware, and it is increasingly become very difficult for the people who serve the sea or on shore to understand this regulation and keep themselves updated. So you need something else that can help you streamline your business and operations. So it is becoming more and more complex. The second one is, of course, the business. It has always been tighter margin. It's all about the cost, consolidation, and competition. So this has definitely been one of the driver, and we see more and more consolidation happening in recent time, or in recent time as well, which is really driving that what we need to do in order to make ourselves business competitive. Third, next slide, please. The finally is the technology. And before we talk more about technology, I would like Gaurav or Shreyas to put up the technology just to get a feel of that. What are the key technology that you guys are aware, which are being implemented or in your day-to-day life or also on the shipping? So maybe just you can just take this question. We will show them in a word cloud, I believe. And then we will go that what are the technology that we are seeing in shipping today. We'll take a few moments here. Is it getting, are people answering it, Gaurav? Because we see only 3-4 people. Okay. It's increasing.
I think because they're writing, it'll just take a little bit longer, but I think we are getting more responses now. Let me see if I can share results. One second. Okay. I will share the results over here, Shreyash. I'll just share the screen. Okay. Are we able to see the screen?
Yes, we can. All right. Yeah, it's pretty obvious here. Internet is the largest one, and people are definitely say that this is the one of the biggest technology that you are seeing it in on the ship, right? From not only from email to WhatsApp and whatnot, video call, Netflix, everything is available today. Then we see intelligence, fuel, voyage monitoring, or and data analysis, optimization, machine learning. So there are various. These are the right fully mentioned about different technology that are we seeing in our shipping work life and also the day-to-day life. So pretty obvious, but we will talk about what is prevalent in shipping. So maybe Shreyas, if you can take it over and share the slides. Next slide, please. So rightfully pointed.
Can you see my slide, sir?
We see,
Yeah.
but we are still on the exercise key technology.
Okay. Gaurav sir, if you can stop sharing.
I have stopped sharing.
Okay. Okay.
So you can move to the next slide. We are able to see your screen.
Yeah, full slide, please. Yes. So definitely one thing that came out in the poll as well as the internet connectivity. We see that there is definitely increased in the bandwidth that is available on the ship, and it is will continue to rise. We have been hearing about the Starlink getting installed on the ship. Of course, there are some reasons which is not where Starlink does not work, but it will get sorted pretty soon, or some other companies will come in. The second part, just to let you know that people are also trying, we are of course talking about internet for the personal use, but it is also very helpful for the data transmission from ship to shore. And when we talk about data transmission, we are talking about the engine room data, navigation data, cargo data transmitting. And there are still issues. Probably you will see that if you go to the bottom floor of the engine room, there is not internet. So then there are companies who are trying to create that wire network or a wire mesh or router that so that they can create that localized Wi-Fi within the ship as well. So there are attempts being made, and somewhere it is successful. I won't say it is mature enough yet, but there are definitely technology providers who are working actively on this one, whether it's Inmarsat, Starlink, and Marlink or whatnot. On the right-hand side, we see various technology enhancement where it is Internet of Things, big data, AI, and cloud. We talk about all these technology day in and day out, but it's very high time for shipping for all of us to move out from that Excel mindset that we saw in the earlier poll today. Say that how we can take these technology in our day-to-day life or work on the ship so that you can reduce your effort and drive your ship or run your ship safer. So there are definitely technology, but it's not always a technology problem. It's also a people, process, and training problem. So I think companies and people need to come together in order to do that. And that's one, I think, humble attempt from our side that how we can do that. So these are if you think that these are the forces that is affecting the industry today, and why we are talking about digitalization and why we as an operational person, whether on ship or shore, we need to be aware of this technology, utilize the technology to serve our company or industry better. So having said that, maybe we can go to the next slide. So of course, these are why we are talking, and there are various challenges that we can solve using digitalization and these technology. So what we see is there are immense opportunity in terms of improving the efficiency of the shipping operations. There are lot of benefits that entire industry can get by increasing the transparency. We always see the transparency between ship to ship managers to ship owners to charterers to end consumers. This pipeline is like going from left to right, and the transparency reduced at each of these interjunction. So if imagine you have a platform that everyone is seeing the same information that each of the stakeholders are seeing, I think it will be an amazing. It will require some cultural and some change, But I believe that this is the way that company is heading towards, where we will ensure that everything that you see is is based on one single source of truth. Even as a car, when we get our products on Amazon, we want to track our cargo, whether it's coming from US or anywhere. That transparency is being asked by end users. So it is very evident that this can be enabled by technology. Operations efficiency. Of course, we are right now in the middle of this transition where you always hear probably one software over another, but it is just a matter of time when it will all get streamlined, where you will say one platform where you will have you can use that to improve operation efficiency. But there are definitely opportunity where you can reduce your duplicate efforts, reduce man hours, and also gain efficiency in terms of operations and cargo operations, whether ship operations and whatnot. Safety, we always talk about safety. I think that has been ingrained in our shipping culture, but using technology, there are definitely an opportunity where you can get proactive alerts and increase the safety on the ship and on the shore. Fourth one is sustainability or decarbonization. Shipping still constitutes of 3% of CO2 emissions, but it's still big in megatons. So there are opportunities. People are trying that what we can do in order to reduce emissions from the ship. So there are different technology that we are trying, whether it's an operational way of running the ship better, or using alternative fuel, or using non-renewable energy, and also bringing different carbon capture system, etc., in order to do that. So we will briefly touch upon that, but there are different initiatives being undertaken by different government, companies, and different parties. And it will also evolve as a new business opportunity using digitalization. So if you see, the number of maritime technology companies has grown in last 5-6 years, and I'm seeing it firsthand, where you say there were one or few companies who were doing initially big one like Wärtsilä, LR, etc. But lot of startups have come up and they have become very big in last few years, by providing innovative solutions. And finally, providing better customer service, whether it is your internal customers or external. I think digitalization has a way to improve the customer service in terms of response and in terms of providing better service to them. Okay. So these are some examples, but it is not limited. But I personally feel that there are still long way to go, and we keep hearing about one problem statement and another. And I think that the timing is right in order to understand digitalization and how it can impact our work life. So go to next slide, please. All right, before we go to use cases, I think we are asking that what are the challenges faced by maritime? You can use your experience, what you have heard, what you have seen. It can be as small as doing a better watch keeping than whatever you can think of. So please feel free to write your mind in terms of challenges. It gives an idea that what you guys are facing on the ship. It will help me personally also to understand and see how I can incorporate in some of the solution that I'm developing. But it's always good to hear from the people who are on the ground. Yeah, we'll take a pause and we'll wait for the answer.
About 30 seconds more, guys. So appreciate if you have your thoughts, if you could write them down, please. Another 10-12 seconds to go, and then we will stop the poll. All of us are, senior sailors. Most of us are senior sailors or people already ashore. So it'll be really interesting to hear from you about the challenges which you have faced or seen others facing. Okay, I'm ending the poll now. And sharing the results. Uh, I hope you're able to see my screen.
Yeah, we can. All right. This word cloud is not able to make sense. So we can see lab hours, digital inspection logs. Of course, people are trying to see that how we can write it digitally and do some analysis on top of that. And with the help of ChatGPT, can you summarize it? Because people are spending a lot of time in writing those reports at the same time, getting the meaning out of it. This just get logged. Second one, I see HR, chartering, fuel efficiency, decarbonization. These are definitely some of the challenges and opportunity. Many distraction in terms of navigation operations. Yes, it can be personal. It can be also a lot of outside thing. But there are companies which are trying to create that situational awareness. We are not at the stage where we are doing autonomous shipping, but there are companies. I know one company called Orca AI. They are creating a 270-degree camera where they are trying to identify and provide real-time alert on any objects on the sea. Self-responsibility, crew safety, world politics, definitely it is there. One of the things that we hear from the shore is that now people are not well rested because they are if they are watching Netflix or movies over a period of time because of the higher internet. But definitely the self-responsibility needs to be there. Crew safety is always we talk about that how we can use technology in order to increase the safety, whether it is a video camera or CCTV or providing some kind of gears. So we are looking. We are also hearing about a smartwatch that people can use. They can look at the temperature of the body. They can detect fatigue. They can identify any tank before entry. Before you enter the tank, they can measure certain parameters, etc. Reliable manpower, of course, the training. If I misinterpret it like that, there are a lot of technology that we can use to ensure that we are always trained ahead of the situation, and we can take the environmental rules, etc. So definitely very, very interesting and diverse thought, Gaurav, in terms of challenges that people are facing. I'm really
think
keen
rest
to.
hours probably what I understand is rest hours, crew, manpower, training, management, uh,
Mhm.
work. I think these what I see are the main issues.
Main words. Yep, agree.
All right. Stop sharing. Over to you,
Yeah.
Shreyansh.
So some of the use cases I have mentioned here, of course, this is not all everything that I can mention. There are, and we will talk more about each of these use cases in next slides. But in summary, we mainly talk about the operation side. That's what has been our focus in shipping. That how we can get our cargo from one ship, one port to another port safely. But there are other use cases that people are also thinking about from the cargo side, from the end consumer side as well. So a few example like spare parts optimization. I don't know, we are still doing it. This problem has been solved in retail and other industry, but I believe it has not been solved fully in the shipping. How I can optimize the spare parts on the ship. If you think about any company like Synergy, which has more than 500 ships, you have 2-3 million of inventory shipping sitting on each of the ship. There can be an opportunity how we can optimize from one ship to another, because if the ship is coming to the same port, there is an opportunity, but it has not been done. Sustainability decarbonization app. Of course, we have CO2 emissions. Can we do prediction of CO2 emissions for a new voyage, etc. Digital inspection and logs we talked about. Vessel performance I will briefly touch upon that. Voyage optimization will touch upon predictive and cargo allocation optimization. How we can use this cargo tank to the fullest so that we can maximize the earning of the ship. So these are the few examples, but they are not limited to these only. We can always there are other areas people are talking. Maybe next slide, Shreyas. So first we'll talk about predictive maintenance. We have been hearing about predictive maintenance for a long time, and many industries are little ahead, farther ahead than shipping. But in general, we have always been followers of what Maker has said. But if you have the data, if you have the data models, there is an opportunity that you can detect failure early. That is one. And at the same time, there is also an opportunity to extend the maintenance overall interval of the machinery. Because I remember my time, there were many times you overhaul an equipment and you find nothing wrong, but we just did it because Maker said that. So was it necessary? But many times what happened, you overhaul the equipment, you opened it up, and when you box it back, there was a time then after that it is stopped working properly. So why do you need to interfere when there is no need? So we talk about condition monitoring, but here we are talking about what we can do to take it to the next level to predict and prescribe what you need to do. So there are three main elements of predictive maintenance. One is anomaly detection. Anomaly detection is basically deviation from normal operating behavior. And of course, many AMS system does provide that, like high temperature, low temperature, and pressure, etc. But it does not consider all the variables that goes before this. So this is the much more advanced anomaly detection I'm talking here. The second one is diagnostic, means can we pinpoint the failure mode that it is based on the parameter. So a good engineer definitely identify a few anomalies and then pinpoint, hey, maybe it is a fuel injector problem or a fuel pump problem. Can the data model itself does that? So that is diagnostic. And prediction is basically when you need to do the maintenance. So if we talk about remaining useful life here, so that what is when you should do the maintenance, not the hours before what Maker says. So there are definitely technology in place today in terms of Internet of Things, AI, and machine learning, where you can predict the failure early and take action only when needed. So it will not only ensure the sustainability part, it will reduce failure, at the same time reduce the spare parts consumption, etc. So this is definitely one use case that different companies have tried, and many companies are already using it in one way or another. Next slide, please. This is very interesting, voyage optimization. We have been, I think, as a many master mariner or deck officer, you must have been doing the routing just to avoid bad weather, etc. But now there are questions being asked from the charterer perspective that can we optimize it for the fuel or to increase the hiring rate of the ship. So there are tools and optimization, whether you use the real-time weather condition, you use the navigational route information in order to provide the right navigational path, at the same time what speed you need to do. So this is very prevalent these days. In the last 5 years, definitely it has come up, and many players are there in the market who are offering this solution, and you must be aware of it. So idea is that can we reduce CO2 emission and consumption, and also increase the commerciality of the ship. Next slide, please. Third one is the vessel performance, and we, right now it is referring to both commercial and technical. So when we talk about technical, it's more about how we can optimize the performance of engine in terms of machinery, in terms of how we can improve the fuel efficiency. At the same time, monitoring the condition of hull and propeller and providing when you need to do hull cleaning. If I remember the data correctly, 70% of the high fuel consumption is attributed to dirty hull. So if the impact of hull cleaning at the right time can go a long way in terms of reducing consumption and reducing emissions overall. So this is definitely a use case that many companies are utilizing in order to optimize the vessel performance. Next slide. Alternative fuel and design, as I mentioned, this is whatever I talked about voyage optimization and vessel performance. These are operational way and the short-term measures in order to improve the vessel efficiency. But there are ways and there are efforts being put on for the midterm and the long term in order to move ahead in the decarbonization. So alternative fuel people are trying, whether it's methanol or ammonia and etc. But there are other attempts being made in going back to the sailing, how rotor sails can optimize the energy efficiency and reduce fuel consumption. So these are some examples. But they are not limited to this. There are a lot of retrofits that are happening on the ship as well, where to optimize or reduce the or improve the design efficiency of the ship. So these are the use cases. Next slide. Cargo applications. So this is basically a container monitoring. One of the, they are so fast tracked, and it is very important that how they can optimize the use of container. So that is one big problem that container companies are really looking for. The other way are like how you can optimize the LNG cargo, so that can you optimize it, whether it is boil of gas, etc. But other companies like chemical tankers, I know they are doing it, how they can utilize this cargo tank in order to maximize their cargo capacity. So there are technology or applications that are in place in order to maximize this cargo quantity utilization. The next one is the crew well-being and safety. As I was mentioning, now telemedicine is pretty evident. Many companies are already offering it so that you can immediately call the doctor through app and get the desired diagnosis done. But there are a few companies who are trying to use this smartwatch in order to monitor the crew health, fatigue, and operational safety, etc. So this is definitely one of the things that are being talked in every forum that I attend or I have seen in the industry. It is definitely one of the things that is in the mind of every stakeholders. Next slide. So where are we heading? Of course, we talk about autonomous shipping. We have been hearing about driverless car. Why? And of course, airplanes are there, but why not shipping? Of course, it requires a lot of infrastructure changes and the policy changes in order to make it happen. And this is not, and it is little bit ahead. It's not about taking jobs on the ship or the shore, but it's all about bringing the safety to safe operation to the ship. So various trials are happening in different parts of the world. One happening in Singapore, Japan, or Scandinavia. This is an example of Yara Bergland that has happened in Norway. But the various trials are already in progress, and it will require, as I said, a lot of infrastructure changes, but at the same time, policy changes in order to make it happen. But the industry is definitely going in this direction. When will it happen? I don't have a firm date, but I would see that this maybe in our lifetime we'll see. Next slide. All right, so I'll just stop over here. Happy to take any question. Please feel free to write it in the chat, and we can take it in the Q&A later. But idea is that we are not only talking about digitalization as a trend, but as a tool that how we can empower ourselves by learning these tools and use it in our day-to-day life, whether on ship, on shore, and do our job better. And there are a lot of opportunity that were unheard of in 5 years before are coming to the shipping. And these are some of the examples that has been put up here, and I will hand it over to Captain Gaurav to take it forward. But definitely technology is one thing that we need to be proficient in at some point of time. Yeah, Go ahead, Gaurav.
Thank you so much, Uttam. Great insights, and you've been there implementing a lot of these products which are catering to the needs, and no one better, than to talk about such stuff than you. So thank you so much for your time and talking about these. Let me launch a poll on what do you guys, as an audience, what do you feel that what percentage of jobs will require basic technology skills in the next 5 years, and what percentage would require advanced technology skills in the next 5 years? And there's been a survey which has been done earlier by a company, and I just want to understand from you, what do you guys think about this poll? The figures, whatever are there, we're not making it up. This is as per, I guess the research was done by Seafarers UK. Yeah. As per Seafarers UK, they did a research, and I'd like to hear the answers from you. What do you think the answer could be? Okay. I'm ending the poll and sharing the results. So 35% of you feel it's 70% on the basic skills, that you should have. And on the advanced skill, 40% of you think it's 30% of the jobs will require advanced technology skills in the next 5 years. So essentially what the point over here is that the answer, let me just again tell you the answer. The answer is 70% for the first one, which is basic technology skills. 70% of the maritime jobs will require basic technology skills, and 30% of the maritime jobs will require advanced technology skills. So now it depends for us, where do we want to be, right? But one thing is very clear, that technology skills are required for majority of the jobs in the next 5 years, and it depends where we want to be at, right? And before I go to the next slide, I just want to point out that I'm one of you guys, right? A mariner, sailed as master, and then I did my MBA, and I was just open, where can I go? And all of a sudden I had IBM coming in and offering a job to me. I didn't know the reason why they offered job to me, but which I realized later on, that because I had a maritime experience and they wanted to leverage. So the first 6 months in the job, I was totally lost, because I had zero training in terms of technology, and I was just put to kind of my first account was managing Adani, right? So IBM was doing a lot of work for Adani, including analytics and all. And I was essentially made to be a project manager, later a program manager. But I mean, till the time you don't understand technology, you cannot manage it. So first 6 months were very, very hard for me. I was a cadet once again, and I really had to, in the evenings, I had to really understand about technology. In fact, for 3 months, I became the executive assistant for a CIO of Adani before I could really understand and add value to what I was doing. And then I moved to another account, another shipping company's account while in IBM, where I worked another 2-3 years and doing more technology implementation, right? But the point being that I understood that technology is something which will be required, and this was about 8-9 years back, and I think that's been proven right. Lot more jobs are coming into the technology space. We at CNB are partnered to more than 200 companies, and one area where most of the companies are struggling to get people is maritime professionals who understand technology. Leave alone who can, code and all. That's a dream for them. But someone who can understand technology, just the basics of it is something which every company is looking at. We move to the next slide, Shreyash. And so what are the roles that most of us are mariners, right? Where could we be at, right? So it depends on our understanding, right? If we are just aware of the technology, and by aware, I mean more than Excel, right? I mean, at least understanding various technology, what do they mean, and understanding the software development life cycle, right? I think everyone requires it. I said 70% of the job in the next 5 years, everyone, sailing professionals, be it at any rank, when you're shifting ashore, technical superintendents, marine managers, training, crewing guys, I think everyone requires to have an awareness. Now, those who are able to progress further, right, be technology proficient, right, you guys then get into a data analyst, probably a business analyst, performance manager, project manager, program manager, voyage optimization. You become a consultant, and customer success manager. Customer success manager is someone who talks about technologies to the various clients, who manages the clients for in the technology role, right? And then the guys who've really kind of got their hands dirty, who are actually into it, and with years of experience, you become chief data officers, director IT, chief information officers, product managers, product owners, and so on and so forth, right? I think one of the major points over here is the soon you enter into this particular domain, the more the chances, the higher the probability for you to get to the top, right? Obviously, because you'll have lesser competition, right? Because more and more people are going to enter into this. And Uttam, you have any thoughts on the progression? What do you think?
No, no, a very important point, Gaurav, you mentioned. Means, of course, we learned by getting our hands dirty or on the job. I was no different than you as well. But if I talk about the people who are looking for short transitions, definitely companies are looking for people who, of course, they know their job as a master or a chief engineer or an engineer, but they are definitely looking for people who are more technology oriented, because the people who are currently, they are more on a mariner side, but now the company is driving this transformation and they don't have the people to drive this. So they are definitely looking for people who are more orientation, and probably in 10 years time we will not talk about it, but because we will become, and the people will become digitally native in that case, right? Because this will be part of university or undergrad curriculum, but right now that is not the case, is there? So most of the thing, even when I am in the IT development, product development, either I'm meeting people who understand technology or people who understand marine. There are very few people who understand the both worlds and help do the job. So I've been talking to you multiple times that I need these people, like, hey, can I get it? But we are not able to find that kind of a people. So if you take these initiatives and to learn or be proficient in this kind of technology, definitely there are opportunity, and lot of openings are there, and probably you are more aware about the openings that me. But definitely, even in the traditional job, we are looking for people who are more technology driven. Then if you get into the proficient time, definitely you have other options, and which are much more, better than the technical superintendent. Not in the better than, but something that you can explore, and based on your interests, etc.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Move to the next slide, Shreyash, please. And so what do these roles require? What kind of skills do these roles require? And I think I got a very good question in the chat window. And what I'll try and do is I'll also try and answer that. What kind of background is probably more is a better fitment to to these roles? So basically, we've got vessel performance manager, and which we said that persons who understand, technology a little better. So it'll be data analytics, dashboard building. So herein, the chances of a marine engineer getting over here is more. I'm not saying that deck officers cannot, but for a marine engineer, the chances are better for a person to come here. Voyage optimization. Here it's about the routing part, right? You need to understand more about weather routing, predictive analytics, AI, and from a second officer to a master, right? Here, probably the deck officers are more suited, right? Maritime projects product manager. Here, anyone, you be a deck officer, ETO, marine engineer, anyone can come, and there is a huge demand, and just for everyone to know, we've hiring for this role, and companies are willing to pay with about 5 years of experience, ashore, say about 80 odd lakhs. It's not it's not a less salary, right? And why they are willing to pay? Because they're not getting people, right? QHSC managers, compliance, they'll need to know about the dashboards, the various models. Then you become customer success managers. Customer success manager is more about understanding a tool and explaining it to the clients and managing them, right? Here again, it could be a deck officer or a marine engineer. The skills here are more to do with the people management than technology, but basically you should understand technology. Without it, you'll not be able to do it. Data analyst, I think that's probably one of the most common roles which is coming, and I think which will continue. Again, data analysis, you need to be good with dashboards as a minimum, right? PMS, here marine engineers will be preferred, and you need to understand about the predictive part, the automation part. Probably RPS could come in. Digital consultants, it's to do with the stakeholder management. It's to do with a little bit of strategy part, a little bit of business understanding. And then we come to the more senior roles, which will be the chief data officer roles, the technology, the director in technology roles, wherein as you move forward, you have to be more commercially aligned. You need to understand each and everything more than basic at a more intermediate or to a high level before you get into these kind of roles. So that's the pathway which most of the mariners getting into this role could have. Do we move to the next slide, please, Shreyash? Okay, let me launch this poll, and Shreyash, we can go back to the slide. And now this is a survey which was done by ITF, and they've predicted a shortfall because of the digital skill gap in shipping. So which means that the industry will have more opportunities but less people in the near future, because industry does not have people ready with the technology skills. How much do you feel is the shortfall going to be? 5%, 15, 25, 35%? How much do you feel it's going to be? Another 10 seconds, please, and I'll then stop the poll. All right, the last 5 seconds. Okay. Ending the poll and sharing results. Okay, it's not as alarming as most of us feel. 35% is a lot. I mean, the industry will be crippled. You will not be able to work. So it's more moderate. It's in terms of 15% is what ITF feels there will be a shortfall of the workforce in the next few years because of the technology skill set gap. But that's huge, honestly, in itself, not as big as 25 or 35 though. Now we move to the next slide, Shreyash. And we talk about the course. So we were launching the bootcamp for maritime professionals in technology. That's the course which we have. And what are we going to do in this course, right? So it'll start from the basics. And essentially what Uttam asked you, right? What are the challenges that you feel, right? And there'll be a brief about the challenge which you feel and how can you solve it basis the technology tools which are available. So that's where we start. It's going to be your own observation. It's going to be the strategy part, which will come into being, and it is going to be digital solutions, which will come into being. We will provide you a framework for this particular opportunity mapping and develop a challenge understanding, right? So that's what is going to happen in the first week. The second week will be more about requirements. So this is something which all of us, most of us will be required to do when we get into technology, which will be understanding the requirement and writing it down, right? That's very important. That's the role of a business analyst. So you prepare the requirement sheet, you prepare, over here, what we are also going to do is we are going to help you prepare the designs, right? So we're going to give you Figma a tool wherein you will prepare how the screen will look like, how it should look like. And so that's on the second week. Third week, we will help you to build something, right? And when you build something, it'll be a no code tool. So you don't require to code, but you'll at least know the process. Coding is something which the coders will do, but you will at least understand that how do you demo a particular thing, how do you build it up. Fourth is making a business model and a sales pitch. So would you want to sell it as a SaaS model? Would you want to sell it as just giving the software license itself? And we will help you prepare that pitch and help you design a business model. Fifth is support and customer success. So which means that how will you want to take it to the market? So once you have built the pitch, how do you take it to the market? What is the pain point for a company and how do you sell it essentially? And the last one, we will show you how to do a change management, right? Big companies, it's not about just implementation. If you are a technical superintendent, marine superintendent, you are used to working in a certain way. Leave them alone. You are mariners, right? You're sailing on ship. A new stuff comes in, there has to be a change management. How do you bring about the change management? How do you communicate it? How do you manage the various stakeholders? That's very important. And that's something which we are going to talk in the week 6 of our course, which we are planning. And I'll probably, what do you walk away from this, right? What you'll walk away is a clear business challenge with a concept, right? You'll have a clickable prototype or a live dashboard. You'll have your own slide, a 10 to 12 deck slide, which, and I'm coming to it, which you will showcase to companies who will come for either an internship or a full-time employment, right? That'll happen on the demo day. And of course, you walk out with a certificate by CN Beyond and GMU, Gujarat Maritime University. I've already talked about week 1 to 6. We'll have AI for productivity, right? So how do you use various AI tools for your productivity? You see all of them, selling it on Instagram or other social media, but we're going to show you as a bonus. That's something which day-to-day life will help you to use the AI tools. This is very important. We are going to call companies. At least 3 to 5 companies are more or less confirmed that they will be willing to hear that pitch. The whole journey that you will have from understanding an idea to presenting, to selling that idea and the change management. How you're going to do it, that is something which we'll call companies to hear about your pitch. Most of this is hands-on. Very less theory when it's needed, but it'll be hands-on. You probably have 2 hours of 2 to 3 hours maximum of classes, but we'll give you tools for you to prepare. We'll put you in cohorts. We'll have groups wherein all of you will work together and showcase your tool finally at the end of the presentation. As I said, 6 weeks, live virtual sessions, all virtual sessions, online sessions. You can do it from anywhere you are. We're starting from 10th of August, which is 2 weeks from now. You'll have a 4-hour project work, as I said. Demo day is going to be after September 14th. So probably closer to end of September, we'll have a demo day with various companies. We're pricing this at 50,000 odd, and you'll have a 10% discount. The first 7 people are going to have a 10% discount, or till July 30th, the discount should be there. Yep, that's essentially on the course. We'll have a discount coupon, which Smita could write it down, or Shreya, you could write it down in the chat window, and you could use this to book your seat. We can stop sharing the presentation and let's go to the questions. Let's hear what and how.
So before we take this question, Gaurav, I have one comment on the course curriculum, the way you have designed here. Means people may ask, like, hey, I want to be a QHSE manager. Why do I need to go through this? I want to be a superintendent. Why do I need to go through this product development life cycle or the entire thing? I'll tell you why, because at some point of time, you are going to interact with some of the technology vendors who will talk to you in these languages. So if you are proficient or you understand this, you will be able to make a better decision in terms of acceptance, adopting, and also using it within your company when you move to a role. Or similarly, so we talked about like product. So you need to understand that what's product we are talking about. You will understand that whatever the development cycle they have gone through. We also talked about like business pitch. You are not if you are not joining a sales, you may not need it. But what we are also trying to train you on the communication skill. So this will help you, improve your communication on your in your future, for your future as well. Then the change management aspect. So you will understand that what the companies are trying to do. So when you are get into that kind of issue, you are better prepared and understand that, okay, these are the principles or value system that are used for the change management. So we are not only looking at this as a complete using technology tech work, but overall holistic personality that you come out as a technology driven maritime professional. That's what the overall objective is.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. I'm going through the questions and let me take them. Okay, Kunal, your question on a good course, and I think okay, that's a very good question. So in terms of technology, Kunal, I think there are enough and more courses available on internet. You can go to Coursera, you could go to various other portals, and you'll find them. And I searched for many of them when we were designing the course, and Shreya helped us a lot in designing as well. What we couldn't find is a course which advises you or which tells you more about maritime use cases as well, right? So the connection between, if I tell you an IoT or a blockchain, where will you implement in the shipping? I don't think there is any course which we have come across which is available. And that's where we've designed this course. But otherwise, pure play technology, there are enough and more which are available in the market. Moving on, Virender, I saw your question in time, and I think I answered your question in terms of which kind of background is more suited to a particular background of sailing. Romanus Fernandez, okay. The good question, please advise the technology skill required in that course. Okay. So, Romanus, what we have done is we have finished a course on technology for business recently, wherein we advised about different technologies, right? And as a progression to that, this is more of an advanced course. This is more of a bootcamp advanced course. So, there will be some understanding in the technology which would be required for you to take this course. So for you or for anyone else to qualify for this course, you will have to go through two things. A test, which you will have to take, a test of about 25 odd questions, where we will evaluate you whether you are fit for this course. That's number one. Second, possibly a discussion with with one of us, wherein we'll evaluate you in terms of what you know, what you don't know, right? Once you go through either both or one of them, depending on how much do you score, we will give you an entry into the course. Because the first part wherein you are advising an implementation, you are advising that there is this particular issue and how do we resolve it. I think you need to understand technology. So that is what that's why it's not for all. There is a qualification criteria to enter into this course. Sumit, basic technology skills, essentially for this particular thing, we mean you understanding how the technology is used, at least have an understanding of, say, maybe advanced Excel kind of thing, or know what our data analysis means. And so once you give the test, you will understand, Sumit, whether a person will have those skills or not. And first put how to proceed with these skills. Right, Kunal, I guess we've already talked about this particular question of yours. Okay, I think this is a question which I saw a couple of times, Uttam, and I may ask your inputs on this. How important is it for a person to maybe become a master, chief engineer, top four, to transition into shore roles, especially in technology? Your thoughts on that, please.
Sorry, Gaurav, you are asking me.
Yeah. Please,
Yeah.
Uttam.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I'm asking that how important is it for a mariner to work at a management level on the ship, at top four level, before they transition into a technology role ashore? What are your thoughts?
Okay, sorry, I was reading all the comments, so I could not pay attention to your question. No, this is very, very, very interesting question. All right. I would say there is a space for everyone. All right. It may happen that there are some senior level positions where you need a chief engineer or master to directly interact with the client to get into that technology leadership position. But it doesn't mean someone who is at the operational level cannot reach to that stage. Or you cannot bypass, or you cannot compensate for that kind of a position or without becoming a chief engineer master. If you take my example, I never became a chief engineer myself. I left shipping at third engineer. Of course, I worked on my way up. Right now, I'm probably I do not need. I still lead some of the programs within the company. So it does not matter, I would say. Of course, the starting point may be different, but if you leave early, for example, if you made a choice to leave shipping early and come to this kind of a technology-driven position, you get more hands-on, and probably you will rise far faster. Okay, because you're young, you put hours, and you know the work, and then you move up, or you come directly from there. So there is no right or wrong path. It's just the choice that you need to make, and there is a space for everyone. That's what I would say.
I agree, totally agree. My only advice is that, and I talk a lot about commercial shipping as well, because I see there's a trend, and because we support a lot of companies, the earlier a person comes, the better a company feels that they'll be equipped. I think in my view, the way I've seen, probably 15% or 20%, maximum 20% of the technology roles may require a person to have worked as a chief engineer or a master, for them to probably understand the nuances, the more finer nuances of maybe a main engine or the QHSE or a cargo. I think, but majority of the courses or majority of the positions which are coming, and that's my personal opinion, you don't require to be a at a senior level to function. That's what I feel.
No, I'm totally with you on this one. Say the roles that you mentioned means if you, Shreyas, if you share the roles that you pointed it out, like there were hardly anything that says, hey, I need a chief engineer or master mariner for that. Maybe for routing optimization, probably you may need as a master experience, but people who has the watchkeeping experience, they can also do the same thing. So it's not that it's really mandatory for you to have that ticket before you come to these kind of roles. Otherwise, everyone, it's all about, you look at maritime data analyst. I don't think you need vessel performance manager, same. As long as you understand machinery, you understand the ship, I think totally okay, because it is anyway a new learning whoever comes to this position. Project manager, program manager. Of course, this is where probably some seniority helps because they are kind of a managing people. But anyone can do. There are other courses that you can get into this and gain it over experience. Like voyage optimization specialist. Of course, this is something that you need to marine master mariner or deck officers are most suited. But digital consultant, customer success manager, no. Answer is definitely no. But sometime for a senior position, they do want to see sometime that if a master mariner comes, then it becomes very easy for to talk to the customers, etc. But I don't think you need any of this.
Sure. I think point well taken. Shiraj, you can stop sharing. Suresh, which all companies are expecting? So probably what I see is GeoServe, Navigate, Synergy, hopefully. Then we've got Zero North. Hopefully NAFTA should come in. And so on and so forth. I'm talking, I mean, there has been an in-principle approval from a few companies more, and that's for us. We should bring at least 3 to 5 companies at the demo day. Himanshu, good courses for AI. Write an email to us and we'll be able to share you over an email. Similarly for Jacob, do share an email. It'll be difficult to share right away the links of the courses. Work from home option. What are your thoughts on this, Uttam? So the question is from Varinder. What are the options for working from home in the maritime technology space?
Now, so working from home, it has come from technology industry. So even shipping industry learned to work from home during COVID times, and many companies have gone back there. So I think there is definitely options. Many companies are doing it, and probably and it has become more prevalent today because of the different offices in different parts of the world. So if there are a company whose office is in Norway versus Singapore versus India and US, you have to work on a common time zone. So I think even you don't need to come home. So many times it is totally okay. And many what I have seen, technology companies are more open for working from home than a proper shipping company. So I think these options are there. Many in Singapore, government is already trying to put a 1 day mandatory work from home for many companies, and many companies have signed up voluntarily for that. So it is getting very accepted today. It's all about bringing the value rather than just putting the punching card. So I think people are understanding that. Any additional digital skills required? I don't know, for work from home. I don't know if it is relevant to that question, but will you design open some pathway? That answer probably I'll leave to Gaurav. Yeah.
Right. No, so my suggestion to you, Varinder, is that, I mean, if you're looking to come ashore, look to contribute as much as you can. I understand that you may have some limitations because of which you may not be able to go to office, but I think the growth happens when you are able to work with the cohort, when you are able to network with them. Work from home, even I've seen many companies who do not have work from home, but because a person has added immense value, the person becomes indispensable, right? The company takes an exception and gives work from home to them. So try and be at that place rather than asking a company at the start, can I work from home, right? There will be options, surely, may not be many, some may be giving, some may not be giving, but that's the mindset which I would request all of us to have. Manish, on board, you can attend the course provided you need to have a good internet connectivity. We've had people in the other courses who have attended the courses from the ship. You need to have a good internet connectivity. All of this will be sessions will be recorded, and you will be shared the access to the recorded sessions, which you can see for the next 1 year. But this will be more hands-on, so it'll be. I'll suggest that you be at the try and attend live sessions as much as possible. Nikhil, you're from a commercial freight forwarding background. How does those tech skills help you? So Nikhil, I think anywhere you go, in any industry right now, and more so in the logistics like shipping, is a very, very opaque industry, right? And it's probably one step ahead than shipping right now. But I think there are so many tools being developed. If you want to get into those tech side of things, that's something which you should definitely look at, getting your technology skills. Miftahul, MBA, write to us on MBA shipping and logistics. We'll give you more information on it. Email ID is education@cnbeyond.com. AMD, yes, we intend to have this course every 6 months. So we will have the course again after another 6 months. Jebin's question is, hi Jebin, someone with crewing experience of 3 years. I think you have been ashore, and maybe Uttam, you could answer this, right? Decade with 3 years of shore experience. Do you think he can enter into the digital space and the path that he could have?
No, 100%. I think Jebin's no inhibitions from that side. Keep that away. I think you have enough knowledge, because these, you can get into more technology role even if you understand shipping. So the idea is that even if you don't know all the concept, you will be able to understand it better than who does not have a maritime experience, right? So I have not been a master, but when I talk to them, I can understand what they are looking for, and after a brief discussion. So I think that is totally okay. And since you have the crewing and operations experience already, there are definitely, if you learn about this technology, more career path will open up for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It depends, Jebins, how do you want to shape your career? That's also one thing, right? And the good thing is you're already ashore, so which means you have access to the opportunities which are there. Priyadarshi, we will share the slides with you of the training which we conducted, and we share the entire brochure with all of the registered participants. If you are already registered, it should come to your email ID. Vishal, the link of the course, we already started registration, and the link is already shared in by Shreyash, I guess that's already there. Then I've got Captain Anil. I'm a master mariner. Can you, Captain Anil, if you write an email to you, one of us can discuss this in detail with you in terms of the maritime law. We didn't discuss this over here, maritime law course, but if you want, we can discuss in detail separately, one-to-one with you, please. Right. Right. Anil, we have shared the email ID education@cnbeyond.com. And so you can email over there. I think that's pretty much it in terms of the questions we've got. Let me take one final poll on would you be interested in joining the course? What do you guys feel? And then we'll have one more poll on the feedback. How did you find today's webinar as well? And I mean, whether you take this course from us or anywhere else, the idea for this webinar was to at least tell you that these are the skills which are required for progression, right? And be it sailing, be it ashore, you should upskill whenever you think it's appropriate for you. Right, guys, thank you so much for your session. And Uttam, thank you so much for spending your Saturday evening with us. That really means a lot to me and, of course, to all the participants here as well.
No, thank you. Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you, everyone. It's all pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye. Take care.
Thanks.